Ooh, that was fun. What kind of bike, what kind of gear, where to go, how to ride. I feel like I'm in a unique position to kind of talk about that because it wasn't so long ago that I started mountain biking. Actually, I better focus on this part here. All right. Hey, it's Steve. Welcome to Hardtail Life, and this is a full ride. Let's go. All right, so this is Expresso. I remember the first time I came up here, it was such a crazy thing because I'm like, what am I doing up here? This is Expresso. This is a trail that is legendary. I've heard of this trail even before I started mountain biking, so that kind of goes to show the kind of like reach and notoriety or infamy that this trail has. Where, ooh, that was fun. Just the fact that even a non-mountain biker has heard of it. So recently, I've had some people ask me about getting into mountain biking, and I feel like I'm in a unique position to kind of talk about that because it wasn't so long ago that I started mountain biking. It was actually almost exactly 2 years ago. I started in October of 2020, the year of the pandemic. And, when I first started, there was so much I didn't know, and I guess that's one of the things that maybe people are wondering. Like, maybe they're wondering about some of the things that I was wondering about, which is, like what kind of bike, what kind of gear, where to go, how to ride so that you can be safe, who to go with. There's no one right way to do it. I'm just lucky in the fact that the way I did it resulted in like mostly good results, and I did it in a way that was sustainable mostly, and I basically had a good time the whole time, and I like to share that. But before I share that, I have seen friends or heard of friends who done it in a way that was maybe not exactly the best way, where they told someone they were really excited about that they were going to start, and then actually I better focus on this part here. All right. Woo, big smooth. Here we go. Woo. All right. Actually, I'm really proud of that. My friend Nick would use the term on-site, where you would just show up and do it without even stopping to look. And of course, I can't on-site something like that normally, but I've done it many, many times and failed way more than I've made it. So that's the only reason why. Anyways, so yeah, I've heard of friends who've like done it wrong, where they've told someone that they were, starting mountain biking, and their friend who might have been mountain biking for years kind of got overexcited or something. But anyways, they would like kind of go over the top. They would get them invested in like a really expensive bike, and they would take them to a trail that's way too hard and kind of crush that dream or crush that flame or fire, I guess, because it would make it so hard, or the barrier so high, that whoever it is who is starting just doesn't think that there's a place for them in mountain biking. And so I guess for me, like I said, I lucked out and I did it in the quote-unquote right way, and that I didn't ever bite off more than I can chew. So yeah, so how did I start? Well, basically having the right attitude is like the most important thing, I think, where whenever you start something new, you kind of think about it in like, that you're new, you're a student, that you're not going to get everything perfect right away. So you're not going to beat yourself up for anything that's, too hard, or that you didn't get it, or anything like that. But also to approach everything with curiosity. And so that's what I did. I let my friends know that I was new. I kind of listened eagerly every single time I was given advice or feedback. I never took anything personally. I think just as long as you have the right mindset, like some days obviously will be harder than others, and you'll think, why can't I get it? And everyone else is flying by, and they're being dropped all the time, which, believe me, I've been dropped so many times and continue to be. But it's okay, right? because everyone kind of rides their own ride, everyone's on their own journey. So that's something that you just have to keep in mind. So attitude, super important. Another thing is the bike, obviously, because you're mountain biking, so you need a bike. Bikes are expensive, okay? There's no one way or another way about it. But you don't have to get the most expensive bike right from the get-go. I didn't. I had a budget. When Meg and I started, we spent $2,000 on 2 bikes. That was our budget. We stuck to it, and we did the best what we could. And with that mindset, of course, being the newbie, we were like, okay, you know, we aren't going to have the nicest gear, but we're just learning. And really, it isn't about the gear at that point. You're just learning how to even be, right? And, you know, you've heard of that thing where you can give an artist a dollar store paintbrush and they'll still make a masterpiece. So same thing. So just kind of the mindset that it's not the bike that's holding you back, but you're there to learn. And in a way, I even leveraged this where I often showed up with the quote unquote least capable bike, you know, often the only hardtail in a group of full suspension bikes. And I would use that to my advantage where, you know, I would say, okay, so I'm coming in at a disadvantage, but I'm not going to let that slow me down. I'm not going to let that stop me from being here to have fun, to do my best, to ride my own ride, right? So when it comes to bikes, just get the best bike you can afford. Let someone know what your budget is. Let them know what your priorities are. And if you're new, let them know you're new so they can help you on that journey. There's a lot of things you can buy on a bike, but very few of them are mandatory, especially when you're first starting out. And, you know, you think you need all these things, but until you're up there riding some of these more gnarly things that even I'm not riding, you know, you don't really need that hardcore bike. By the way, I'm riding the 2021 Knolly Tyaughton hardtail, no suspension in the back, and you know, it's not stopping me from having the best time of my life right now. You can't see it, but my cheeks hurt because I'm grinning so much basically the whole time I'm here. So don't let the bike or the lack of a bike or whatever slow you down. What else? Protection, like gear. I always ride with elbow pads, knee pads, a full face, but it wasn't always like that when I first started. I was just gloves and my commuter helmet, which, you know, at the time that with the speeds I was going, maybe that was enough. I mean, obviously I kind of upgraded from that because I'm riding things that are a little more higher consequence. So yeah, so that's gear. Oh, hello. You guys all right? Yeah. Okay, awesome. All right. So, gear, get it as you need it. But, you know, helmet, some people don't ride with gloves. I need gloves. That's a personal thing. What else? You need to make sure you find a good community. The difference between someone who is a good rider and someone who's a good teacher is dramatic. Someone who is a good rider might not be a good teacher. And in fact, you know, I've heard of this where my friends have been taken to trails that are much too hard because this good rider thinks that it's an easy trail and anyone and everyone can do it because they've been doing it for so long that they can do it with their eyes closed. But someone who's learning, you know, that's one of the easiest ways to really turn someone off from it. It's just to make them feel like they can't do something that apparently is super easy. So yeah, make sure you find a good riding group or a mentor. The good news is that in Vancouver here, there are so many great instructors and mentors that I know. You know, my friends who I ride with all the time. So shout out to you guys. You guys know who you are. But if you need to reach out to someone, Jacqueline at Osmosis Trading is a sure bet for sure. But yeah, let's talk about the location, where to start. I mean, a lot of people think that you have to ride North Shore right from the start. You know, North Shore is impressive. It's right here if you live in Vancouver, but you know, I always say to my climbing friends who are looking to get into mountain biking, you know, kind of like Alex Honnold, the greatest climber, you don't start climbing by trying to do a free solo of the Dawn Wall, right? So there's a lot of steps between here and there that you don't have to, you know, go right to the North Shore from the start. And actually, to touch on that, where I first started mountain biking was Pacific Spirit Park. Yes, you heard it. Pacific Spirit Park is where I started mountain biking. Now, I don't even know if you can call that mountain biking. No, you can't. But it doesn't matter because it's what I was doing. I went from only commuting, you know, on the roads. So for me, riding in the trails was huge. Oh, it was just, thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Riding through Pacific Spirit Park, that's how I kindled my love and joy of riding off the roads. You know, I would go and take my kids, you know, or sometimes even drop them off at school in the morning with a bike on the rack and then just go to Pacific Spirit Park, you know, and just ride, right? And a lot of people, like, that's not a place you need really expensive gear. That's not a place you need, you know, full suspension or anything too crazy. I was riding $1,000 hardtail, and it was overkill too for what it was. So yeah, and then slowly over time, as you kind of ride through the trails over and over, and you feel like you've mastered, and you're like looking for more. You'll know when you're looking for more. But the cool part was that was self-directed. It was very much like I was ready. You know, my own body was telling me that I was ready for more. You know, it wasn't someone who was really good and really wanted an audience while they ripped through the trails to show how good they are. So, yeah. Shortly after Pacific Spirit Park, I did Watershed. You know, again, the only reason why I know about that is because I was talking to a friend and just kind of sharing how much I'm enjoying riding through the trails. And that's always something you should do, by the way. You should always share your passions, because you never know who will have something for you, whether a tip or whatever, right? Just share your passions. Maybe it'll spark someone else to go check it out too. But yeah, and you know, just trying new things and being like open to the fact that maybe sometimes you get to a trail where you have to walk, and that's okay, because that's another thing that's okay with mountain biking, is you can do it at your own level. There's no one to really hold you accountable but yourself. You want to go? Sure, go. You want, oh, whoa, that's hard. Maybe I should focus more. But yeah, it's like you can just ride your own ride. Ooh. Speaking of walking, I always walk this part here. I just don't have it in me right now. Both fitness and ability. So, for those of you that don't know, these are technical climbs. This one here, you can see, it's got lots of roots, which means you need to kind of work your way over them. And it's steep, so you need the fitness. And just right now, I don't have it. And that's okay. Hello. Oh, how's your day going so far?
You might snap a picture for me.
Sorry?
You might snap a picture.
Oh, not at all. Yeah, of course. What's your name?
Slavic.
Slavic. Okay. Do you have Instagram? I'm Steve.
Steve, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you.
Just come closer, like it's gonna be a hardtail here. That's gonna be some, you know, extra fun.
Yeah. Yeah.
These stairs there, that's not even a bike trail. You know, it's more of a walking trail.
Oh yeah. Cool. Well, I hope you enjoy the rest of your ride.
Cheers.
Yeah.
Steve, right?
Yeah. Nice to meet you, Slavic.
Man. See you around. Thanks for the pics.
Yeah. No problem.
Be careful. Man.
Yeah. Thanks. All right. Oh, what a nice guy. yeah, I think that's the other cool thing about mountain biking is you often meet some really nice people on the trails, and it doesn't matter, whoops, slipped off the pedal there. And it doesn't matter, you know, what they do or where they come from or whatever. They're just united by, you know, the love of biking, the love of being outdoors, sharing this passion. Woo! That didn't sound amazing, but here we are. Ooh, always in the wrong gear. Last 60. Yeah, so that's the other thing about this trail here at Baden Powell is before I used to be so scared of this thing, but you know, over time with experience and an open mind, just riding it over and over and listening to people's advice. Oh, thank you so much. Yeah, that part's always a bit scary. Rock gardens on a turn that's steep. Whew. So I think the trick there really is brake control. Learning to brake the right amount, not too little, because then you'll go too fast and I'll get scared. And when you're scared, nothing good happens. But also not too much that, you know, I basically cancel the attempt, the effort. But yeah. I think when it comes to those rocky corners, I think I do have to be cognizant of letting the back end slide a little bit, just so that, you know, I can get it around. I'm told that I'm riding a relatively long bike, so some of these corners are a bit tight, and if you don't allow it to slide a little bit, you won't be able to get it around. But one of the key things is not locking the front wheel, because the front wheel is basically locomotion. If I lock that, then it's over, because don't think about it. If I'm not moving, the back has nowhere to go. So you have to keep the front moving. But also, what's that say? Pedestrian crossing. Okay. All right. But yeah, just to keep the front moving so that the back has somewhere to go. But whoo, that's janky. And here we are. That's basically the end of Baden Powell. Still not my favoriteest trail. Still have a healthy respect and fear for it, but at least now we respect each other and it's not such a one-way relationship. Whew. All right. Well, that was Expresso and Baden Powell, and I've had my fun. Now it's time to go home and get some work done. And such is life. As a freelancer, business for self, running renovations and moving, and trying to grow a YouTube channel. So, yeah. And that's that. One of my goals is try to reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you haven't subscribed yet and you are enjoying what you're seeing, please consider subscribing and following along on my mountain biking adventures. Thanks for watching, and see you in the trails. We're gonna start, and then, oh, actually I better focus on this part here. All right. Whew, big smooth. Here we go. Woo. All right. Actually, I'm really proud of that.